welcome back, and this is the last time we're going to use the map. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. It's been fun. So if you notice, if you have your old map still, your 9 piece looks different. So you have to remove your old 9 piece and put in the new 9 piece, and this new 9 piece is called 9A. Because our land of Nephi needs to be bigger because a lot is happening in these chapters. So if you remember in the last chapter, King Noah and Abinadi, King Noah just killed Abinadi, and Alma was running away to get away from King Noah. Now I'm going to put a new Alma on there because he's not a wicked priest anymore. He's a nice guy. And he's run away to the side of the town, the side of Nephi, kind of hiding a little bit. And he's teaching the people, and people are gathering, and the King Noah's guards notice. But he's able to baptize some people, and then the Lord tells him, you got to get these people out of here. So he takes them, beautiful land with lots of pure, clean water. So Alma takes his people up, and they live in this beautiful land. Now, they're living up there, and they're having a good life. And then back in the land of Nephi, the Nephites are realizing that their leader is not really great, that all their leaders are terrible. And so they start a rebellion. And there is a man named Gideon that tries to kill King Noah. And King Noah's like running away from him. And he runs to the top of this tower, which is really small, so it looks a little bit funny. But he runs to the top of the tower, and he looks across, and he sees that the Lamanites are at the borders, and they're coming to attack and kill the Nephites. And so he says to Gideon, hey, don't kill me. I need to save our people. And so Gideon doesn't kill him. So King Noah gets down from the tower, and he gathers a bunch of men, including the wicked priests. And he runs away with them. I'm going to put this on there right now. We're going to need it in a minute. The wicked priest hideout. But I'll get to that in a minute. So they run away, and there's a whole bunch of other men that run with them because they're like, oh good, our king is leading us, and we'll get an army together, and we'll come back and we'll fight these Lamanites. Well, that doesn't happen. King Noah is just trying to take care of himself, and he's like, hey, we're safe. And the men are like, we left our wives and our children to the hands of these Lamanites, and this is all you're doing is just trying to, and they were mad. So then they took King Noah, and do you remember what Abinadi told them? He says, you will die by the same fate that I did. And so they took him and burned him. Now they wanted to burn the wicked priests too, but they ran and they got away. So now they're in the wicked priest hideout. King Noah's out of the story. So they're down there in their hideout, and Alma's up here, and the Nephites, the Lamanites, come to the land of the Nephites, and they plead with them because they don't have an army ready. Their king has disappeared. They've been wicked. Remember, they're the ones that killed Abinadi. And they're like, just don't kill us, please. And we'll work for you and do whatever you want. So that's what they do. They pretty much become slaves. So then they have to give them half of everything they have. And the Lamanites are pretty happy with this because now they don't have to work. They like to be lazy. So then they're working, and now that King Noah is dead, he has a son that was found among the prisoners, and his name was Limhi. And Limhi was a pretty just king, and he didn't agree with the way his dad ruled things, and he trusted in God. He realized that they had done a lot of wrong things, and there was a consequence for doing those wrong things. So they just are working really hard. Well, one day, so the Lamanites go back to their land over here, and then one day well, not one day, lots of days, their daughters, see this water, they would come and swim in the water and dance and just have a gathering together like a girl party. And they would just come and play and do all that. And then the wicked priests, they would come and kind of sit out in the trees and just watch them. Till one day, they decided there wasn't very many of them, we're going to take them home with us. So they took them all back home to dry. Sorry, I couldn't resist. And they hid here with them. So the Lamanites are like, what happened to our daughters? Somebody kidnapped them. And guess who they thought did it? They thought it was King Limhi's people. So without any warning, they come and they fight King Limhi's people. Now, King Limhi was a much better king than his father, so he had an army prepared and ready for them when he saw them coming. And it said that King Limhi's people fought like dragons. So they're starting to trust in God more, and God is helping them more. And because they wanted to protect their wives and their children too. Because, I mean, they didn't even know why the Lamanites were trying to come kill them. So after lots of death and war, they found the king of the Lamanites among the Lamanites wounded. And they asked him, why did you do this? Why did you start this war? We haven't done anything. And he's like, yeah, you did. You stole our daughters. And he's like, no, we didn't. And then they remembered the wicked priests. And they realized that they're the ones that took their daughters. So the king of the Lamanites and all the Lamanites went back home deflated. Lots of people dead. And King Limhi's people, a lot of their people died. Not as many as the Lamanites, but a lot of their people died. And they were upset and they were hurt. And then the Lamanites after that were absolutely terribly mean to him. They still kept their treaty and they didn't kill him or fight with him like they were told not to, but they did pretty much everything they could besides killing him. They stacked their backs full of wares and whipped them like animals. They were just very mean. And so it was a really hard thing for these people to go through. Now this is when, if you remember back in the beginning of the map, this is when Ammon comes down from Zarahemla and enters the scene. And do you remember how him and his men were taken and put in prison? Do you know why that happened? Who did they think they were dealing with? They thought they were dealing with the wicked priest. They thought they found him. And so they put him in prison and treat him pretty bad because those wicked priests got a lot of people killed. So they were pretty mad. But then when Ammon said, hey, you don't know who I am. I'm from Zarahemla. I'm a Nephite. They were really happy. So then Ammon comes and helps King Limhi, just like in the other story. And he helps them and they give the Lamanite guards, some strong drink so that they would sleep really good. And then they go up and Ammon knows the way. So he takes Limhi and all of his people and they go up to the land of Zarahemla with all these other people having a great time. So he gets all of Limhi's people to the land of Zarahemla and King Benjamin is gone now. He's dead. But King Mosiah is so happy to have them. And so then the Lamanites wake up and their slaves are gone. And they are not happy. They do not like to work. So they go looking for them. And they go down here. And guess who they find? They find the wicked priests. And they are ready to kill him. But then the daughters stop them and they're like, hey, they're our husbands now, the father of our children. You can't kill them. And so the Lamanites are like, oh, well, I guess they can join the family business. We kill and get slaves, and you can join us. So they take the wicked priests, and they're like, we need to go find those people and get our slaves back. So they go off looking together through the land, and guess who they stumble upon? The people of Alma. And they're ready to fight and kill Alma's people, and Alma's people are scared, and so Alma talks to them, and they become slaves to the Lamanites and the priests, and they also get treated very, very bad. But in the scriptures, it says that the Heavenly Father, because these guys were the righteous ones. Remember these guys? They killed Abinadi. they had to go through a lot more struggles, a lot more death. These guys didn't even have one drop of blood spilled in all of this, which is a miracle. But they did go through a really hard trial. They had to go through persecutions that those Lamanites put on them and the wicked priests put on them for quite some time. And then the Lord told Alma that he was going to put the Lamanite guards into a deep sleep and that they should leave that night. So then Alma comes up here, and with the Lord's help, he is able to find the land of Zarahemla. So now everybody, all the Nevites are back in the land of Zarahemla, and they're all really happy. And until Alma has a son, then it gets exciting again. So until next week,